Hello everyone, my name is Cullen Joyce. I'm a fellow with the Contemplative Study Centre. I'd like to welcome you to this guided meditation session presented by the Contemplative Study Centre at the University of Melbourne. So I'd like to start the session with an acknowledgement of country. I'd like to respectfully acknowledge the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, who are the traditional owners of the land on which many of us are residing. I'd like to pay my respects to their elders past, present and emerging, and extend my respect to all Indigenous Australians present. So we are delighted to welcome the Venerable Munissara Bhikkhuni, who will be facilitating the Theravada Buddhist meditation series over the next 6 weeks. Venerable Munissara earned a bachelor's degree in history from Harvard University in the US and an MA in Southeast Asian Studies from Chulalongkorn University in Thailand. She started practicing meditation in the 1990s and became a novice nun in 2009 and a fully ordained Buddhist nun in 2012. After 6 years of monastic training in Thailand, she joined the community at Dharamsala Nuns Monastery outside of Perth, Australia. She regularly leads guided meditations for lay visitors and has taught meditation in various settings in Perth and Thailand, including monasteries, retreat centres, schools and a prison. In 2021-22, she served as the Secretary of the Australian Sangha Association. So, Munissara, great to see you, and I'll hand over to you.
Okay, thank you, Colin, for that introduction. And thanks, Kathleen, for all your help in getting this organized. So, hello, and I want to apologize last week for missing our intended first section because of, last-minute cancellation of my surgery, but I have got it done. So I'm here today and very happy to be with you here today. I guess I will tell you a little bit about my own meditation experience, just so you have a sense of my background. I did explore different meditation traditions in Thailand, which is where I'm originally from, but also with Theravada-inspired practice groups in the West when I lived in the US. So I've been sort of mainly based in the Theravada tradition, but within the Theravada tradition, there is quite a lot of diversity. And although I've been exposed to different kinds of meditation traditions within Theravada, I would consider my home the Thai forest tradition. Like the teachers I connect most strongly with are from the lineage of Ajahn Chah. Maybe some of you have heard of him. He's quite well known because he had quite a lot of Western disciples who've gone to established monasteries worldwide. But he was from the northeast of Thailand, and the Thai forest tradition is sort of like code word for a tradition that likes to spend a lot of time in nature, practice close to nature, actually live in the forest, and devote a lot of time to seclusion and development of the mind or meditation practice. So here in Australia, in Perth, my teacher, Ajahn Brahm, who was a disciple of Ajahn Chah, he trained for 9 years in Thailand under Ajahn Chah before coming to Perth to help establish a forest monastery here. So they established a monks monastery outside Perth, but also later a monastery for nuns, which is where I'm at, which is outside Perth, but close enough to the bush that we actually live very close to nature. We're actually on pristine bushland, and it's a very special sort of environment in which to practice. So I would consider that sort of my main home base in terms of meditation teachings that I've received. But how I personally came to meditation, it actually started when I was quite young, when I was only in year 5. What would that be, like 10 years old, 9 years old, something like that. I happened to go to a particular temple with my auntie when we went to visit Thailand during school holidays, and they were teaching meditation to lay people, including to children. And so I got my first taste, and I actually, just sort of happened upon it, on a lark. But I quite enjoyed it, and I practiced for a little while by myself. even as a child. But as you grow older, you kind of, other things seem more important, like school, etc. And so I kind of lost my regular practice. But when I went to university, like as Colin mentioned, I did my undergraduate at Harvard. What can I say? I got pretty stressed out. Yeah, and I remember at that time I was actively seeking out meditation because I remembered how it made my mind peaceful when I was younger, when I was a child, and I was desperately looking for that peace because, man's alive, my head was just full of just unending thinking, like thinking about everything, thinking about my schoolwork, thinking about what I'm supposed to do in the future, thinking about this, thinking about that. And I mean, it was just, I felt like my mind was like constantly turning around in thoughts. And the thing is, at one level, I mean, you think that's a good thing, right? Because you're at a university to learn how to think. That's what we're taught. That's the way, you're gonna figure things out. That's how you're going to solve your problem. That's how you're gonna understand the world. It's funneled through this process of thinking and analyzing and intellectualizing about it. And at one level, yes, it's kind of fun, even, when you're in school or in class. But after a while, when you think so much, your mind just gets tired. And when your mind gets tired, it also is prone to negative thoughts. So prone to anxiety or stress or those kinds of things, because actually your mind is lacking in energy. And energy is the source of brightness or happiness of the mind. So from there, I was sort of, there were times I would fantasize that I had to get like a manual labor job or something where I could just, I don't know, like do something simple, like make sandwiches or something that just didn't require all this thinking. Because the other problem that I found with all the thinking I was doing at university was that there was part of me that felt like it didn't quite capture truth. I felt I was like always trying to verbalize some things that maybe I knew at a deeper level, but I had to try to somehow massage it into words that I could express and articulate. And sometimes it never felt like I could find the right words, no matter how careful I was, that would capture that for something that I might feel or know. But I didn't know anything else but how to parlay it into words. But I felt that it's not really getting to truth. And I noticed also that, hey, I'm in this big university, lots of great minds here, all these bright bulbs. A lot of them didn't look very happy. So it's like, how wise can you be if you're not that happy? So it seemed that all this thinking wasn't necessarily leading to any real wisdom. So there was part of me that was like, oh, this can't be the answer. I'm looking for another way. And so I was looking for a way to learn to not think, I wanted to learn how to meditate. Of course, back then we didn't have, like you lucky people at the University of Melbourne, we didn't have a contemplative study center, so I didn't really know where to turn. Finally, I had to, go back to Thailand and find a meditation retreat there. But the thing is, what I realized is that we were being trained at university to hone our ability to think clearly, to analyze, sort of razor sharp logic. But we weren't given any training on how to like stop thinking, how to actually know how to not think from time to time. And actually at some level, because we were so invested in developing our intellectual prowess, we don't want to give it up. At some level, you don't want to stop thinking because that's your raison d'etre, that's all you do. So I found it actually very difficult. And the thing is, I remember, when you're not able to stop thinking, you're just you're so lost in your thoughts. And actually, when you're still or you're silent, you could even feel what that was for a moment or two. It actually allows a different way of relating to the world and to apprehend things on a different level. And actually, that is productive of real wisdom. That's not to say that there is like zero value to thinking, because I mean, you know, you can't just completely discredit that. Of course, there is also value to intellectual analysis, and also the kind of skills that are needed to think clearly. And I do think that that's something that is worth cultivating. But the thing is, it's being able to be the master of it and not just be run around by all your thoughts. Be able to use it constructively and skillfully when you need to, when you have a clear purpose for it, and being able to put it down when you don't have to. That's what I was looking for the ability to do. And the ability to rest your mind in a non-thinking way, to rest it from thinking, is actually what makes it strong. It's actually what makes it resilient. It's actually what makes it able to see things clearly at a deeper level. So that was something that I was very interested in finding out how to do. But the good news is, as I was told, actually stillness or silence is a natural state of the mind. I remember clearly my graduate, this was even in graduate school, when my thesis advisor, she did her like scholarly specialty in Zen Buddhism. And I remember one time she told me, you know, the natural state of the mind is to be silent. And I remember looking at her and being like, not mine. I don't know about you, but my mind is constantly thinking. So I actually found it difficult to believe that. But the more that I've practiced meditation over the years, yeah, I actually believe it now, that is the natural state of the mind. And so that's actually very encouraging news for us, isn't it? Because it allows us to see that meditation is not about creating some skill we don't have. It's about tapping into something that's already there, a natural ability of the mind in its default state, to just be still and to be silent. And I remember one of the early, one-day meditation retreats, sort of the introductory type things that I went to, that my teacher here in Australia, Ajahn Brahm, gave. He did this thing where he would like, just talk normally and just, say a few words about this or that. And then suddenly he would just pause. And then he would continue speaking and then randomly pause again from time to time. And you never knew exactly when he would do it. And in those little gaps, when he would just randomly stop, I was able to experience, like, oh, that's silence. That's what it is. That's pure knowing mind. And it was so immediate and clear. So I don't know if you felt it just now, but if you don't, there's another easy way to do it, is if you're ever trying to watch a video on YouTube or something and it's taking a long time to load, there'll be those times where they just, you see that icon turning, and there's like this unpredictable silence that will pop up. So just try to listen to that. And listen to that silence here and there. You've got it. You felt it. That's the natural state of the mind. See? It's already there. It's not like you got to learn how to do it. It's already there. Now, the thing is, though, you have to constantly have like some slow loading YouTube video to be able to recapture this, unless you actually cultivate the ability to tap into that, to go back into that mode through meditation practice. So that's what we're trying to do. When we talk about meditation, there's so many kinds of meditation, and people can get all caught up in the bells and whistles of different techniques. Actually, what we're cultivating is, it's something that's simple. It's that clear, silent knowing of our experience of our body or our mind in the present moment. That's all it is. So being able to silently know what's going on in our body or in our mind right now. That's all it is. So what that makes the present moment becomes like our classroom. That's what one of my teachers once said. And I mean, totally appeals to somebody who's nerdy, right? You're like, classroom, that's a nice place to be. So the thing is, it's like that. You know, you can perceive it or think of it in that way, that the present moment is like our classroom. It's where we can learn, but not learn in the way of like the normal classroom, where again, it's like it's with the thinking, it's with the rational, linear kind of analysis, not in that way. But here, what we're learning by simply knowing it, simply being aware of it. What is my body like right now? What is my mind like right now? And just to see it clearly, moment by moment, present moment by present moment by present moment. The more continuously you'll be able to do it, the more you can see the process of change that happens. But simply knowing is something that is, it's about being aware of our experience just as it is. So that means without adding like a layer of verbal commentary or opinions or any reactions, like aversion, like, oh, get away from me, I don't want this feeling, I don't want this experience. Or craving, like sort of grasping at it, like, ooh, give me more. So just being able to know, just know, that's it. Like, it sounds so simple, right? It sounds so simple. Alas, it's not so simple to do. Because that's the thing, we try to do it. But it's not something that easily comes to us because we're so habituated to complicating things. We're so habituated to like distracting ourselves, not allow ourselves to fully experience our body and mind just as it is. Like it's one of those things where you're like, well, I mean, surely I can do that. It sounds so simple. But it's, if you ever try to experience things just as they are, and you're able to notice what happens, often what happens is very quickly, like almost immediately, we're like thinking about our experience. It's like, let's say you have a feeling in the body, you might feel it, and if it hurts, you're already thinking like, oh my God, what is this? You know, like, what is this, a symptom of something? What can I do to stop it? This or that. Like it immediately becomes like a chain analysis about your experience rather than the experience itself. This is the same for our emotions, you know, like whatever you might feel, if you're feeling, even if you're feeling happy, you know, you can immediately go into, I wonder why I feel so happy today. I don't know about you, but that's what I do. You immediately try to analyze it, like, okay. And it becomes like, again, you're into your thought world. You're not in the actual immediate experience. And so being able to simply be with things as they are, know it as it is, it sounds so damn simple, but it's actually pretty damn hard to be able to actually experience what that's like. But again, you're not. Let's not make this a downer. The thing is, we can develop this ability, or even rather than calling it developing the ability, it's more like we can learn how to come back to our natural state of presence and awareness more readily. So it's not like I was saying earlier, you have to completely create a new skill. It's not like if you're, have you ever watched like Olympic figure skating where these people are like doing these random triple jumps at an angle, you know, like you're like, how do you do that? It's not like some alien skill like that you have to like spend just sort of retraining your muscles to be able to do something so bizarre like that. It's about coming back to something that we naturally, our minds naturally are like, if we just allow the mind to be. But the thing is, to be able to come back to that, you need some like training wheels. I mean, I think that's a really good analogy. Is if any of you remember what it was like when you first try to learn how to ride a bike, right? I mean, actually, we all have the ability to naturally balance. You know, our bodies actually, as the human species, with the, you know, our Homo erectus, our ability to, you know, have this spine that walks around, we have the ability to balance naturally. But to learn how to do that on like a vehicle with two wheels, it takes a little bit of training at first. That's why we put on these training wheels first, and then we try to ride the bike with the training wheels on first, because you need sort of some kind of a bridge to help you to learn how to actually get in touch with your natural ability to balance yourself in space. So this is similar, right? We're trying to find our ability, our natural ability to be balanced within our mind in the present moment. But first we need some training wheels to let us learn how to, you know, naturally get into that mode. So the training wheels are like these meditation practices, these actual, you know, discrete steps or methods we can do, exercises we can do that can help to, you know, reconnect with that ability to balance, that ability to be present. So the classical method found in all Buddhist schools would be the use of one's breath. So being mindful of breathing. Sometimes it's called mindfulness of breathing. So this is something that you'll find in all Buddhist traditions, Theravada, Mahayana, Vajrayana. Everybody can use the breath because, hey, it's something everybody's got, right? You've got that wherever you go. Until you kick the bucket, you've got your breath. So that's handy, it's practical. But the thing is, the breath also is actually quite a refined object of awareness or meditation. That's what you call, when people talk about the object of meditation, it just means like the focus that your mind rests on. So the breath is actually quite a subtle thing. So sometimes the mind isn't ready. It can be quite difficult to sustain your attention on the breath, which is why you have, you know, for centuries and centuries, meditators experience the syndrome of the wandering mind. And if you've ever experienced that, you know how frustrating it is, right? So the thing is, you don't always have to meditate on the breath. And sometimes it's more useful to develop the ability to be aware of coarser objects. So objects that are easier to focus your mind on, such as the body, that is the sensations in the body, or emotions and thoughts. So this is something that we can practice with in coming weeks. But the thing is, no matter what object of meditation or focus of your mind that you're going to choose to work with, the faculty that you're developing is the same thing. It's cultivating that clear awareness in the present moment. So that's the key. I mean, that way, you know, you don't have to feel like, oh, I'm not doing real meditation unless I'm like sitting under like the Bodhi tree, watching my breath like Buddha. Or, you know, like in those yoga brochures, you know, it's like, yeah, it can be anything. The thing is whether you're relating to that object with clear awareness. That's what you're really working on developing. And I wanted to also mention that an important aspect of this awareness is not only its clarity, but also the element of kindness. So, you know, it's like whatever we're watching or we're observing, we're looking at it with kindly eyes. So it's not like we're developing the kind of like cold, sterile, you know, CCTV camera kind of awareness. That's not it. Otherwise, you know, why aren't CCTV cameras enlightened? But the thing is, there's a level of warmth, softness, kindness. That's the feel of the awareness that one's trying to develop in this cultivation meditation. So if you want to think of a picture, it's like, it's not like a, you know, the glassy-eyed look of like a lizard, you know, or like a frog, not frog eyes. What we're trying to develop sort of the warm, sympathetic eyes of like a doggy or like a kangaroo. We have lots of kangaroos in our monasteries. And if you look at their eyes, they're so, I don't know, they're so warm. Maybe because they're furry too. But the thing is, that's kind of a really important aspect that sometimes we don't hear so much about. Mindfulness is like so all over the place. You've heard that word in so many contexts now, that it's become almost like a normal part of the world now. It's mindfulness this, mindfulness that. But the thing is, mindfulness also has to have that kindness, that attitude of openness or non-judgment, where whatever we're experiencing, we're just open to it. It's not like we're saying, labeling this as, oh, this is a bad experience, this is a good experience, or whatever. It's like any experience is allowed. It's okay. And we can allow whatever that experience is to just be as it is. So we're receptive to whatever arises. We're open to it. And that's the attitude of if you've ever had, like, think of someone in your life you feel comfortable with, you like to hang out with, you have, a troubled mind about something, you want to talk to this person. What is it about this person? Imagine what that's like. They're like, you get the feeling that you're safe because they're not judging you. No matter what you tell them, they're just willing to like listen to you and not say that, oh, that's really stupid, or what you did was really wrong, whatever. No, they're just listening with sort of a sympathetic, empathetic kind of attitude. And they're not trying to control you or trying to interfere with you or trying to change you. So this is the thing. This is the same with the kind of attitude we want to cultivate with our awareness, is that similar kind of feeling that whatever comes up in our bodies or our minds, we're just going to let them be. We're not going to interfere, trying to change, trying to improve, trying to change our experience. We're not trying, actually. We're just there, letting it be. And this is something that I really like, the word that my teacher Ajahn Brahm came up with. So clever. Okay, so he put together mindfulness and kindness, and he calls it kindfulness. So the idea is to be kindful of your experience. And so whether you use that word or you don't, it's the attitude, the way of relating to the object of your meditation or the object of your attention that's important. So we're trying to develop right relationship, like a right kind of relationship with the object of our meditation, because that's the only way we're going to be able to sustain awareness of it. So if you have that kind of openness and kindness towards what you're experiencing, then your mind's not going to want to run away from it. It's when we're like rejecting it, we're clenching around it, we don't want it, that's when the mind wanders off, because it doesn't want to be with what we're experiencing. But if we're just willing to, just be with it, and, be content with that experience, then we can be with that experience more continuously for a longer time. And that's how we build up the power of our awareness or mindfulness. So that's something that we can practice with over the course of the next few weeks. And we can try it on different kinds of objects. I thought that for today, because we'll only have time to do maybe a short 10-minute meditation, then it would be good to start with the physical body, because this is a really useful and also very, very kind of accessible object for one to cultivate awareness of, because your friggin' body's there all the time, right? And if you're like me, you've had all sorts of problems in your body this year, then you have quite a lot of interesting and diverse things to experience in your body. So the body is great because it like very easily takes you out of your thinking mind, because awareness can only be focused on one thing at a time. So if it's focused on the body, something physical, you will not be able to focus on your mental world. That instantly short circuits the thinking mind. So whenever you come back to your body and awareness of sensations in your body, yeah, there you go. There go the thought, kapoof, gone, right? Even for a moment. So it can ground you very easily and quickly in the present moment, because you can only feel your physical sensations as they happen in real time right now. You can't feel the pain you felt a minute ago or a second ago. You can only feel the pain you feel right now. You can't feel some lovely, relaxing sensation you felt a minute ago. You can only think about it or remember it. You can only actually feel it right now. So every time you feel something in your body, that means you're feeling the present moment. It's like litmus test. You are in the present moment if you're aware of your physical sensation, because it can only happen now. So it's wonderful. That's like, yeah, you can confirm to yourself, righto, this much ballyhooed present moment you keep hearing about, you are actually experiencing it. So that's why the physical body is great to work with. And also it's a good way to develop this kindness I was talking about, because you can really just, get into being kind to your own body, which is something we often forget to do. So how about we do a short meditation now? So if you want to just take a moment to adjust your body so that you feel comfortable. So if you like, you can close your eyes. I find it helpful to close your eyes. That way you can block out all the other senses and just really be in your body. And just notice how you're sitting. You're sitting on a chair. Do you feel you're balanced? Or if you're sitting on the floor, on a cushion, just notice if you're balanced. And also if your back is straight. So you can pull up your back so it's as straight as a ramrod, straight, kind of straight. And then relax it a little bit so it feels at ease. And finding some position for your hands that feels comfortable. And checking your feet are comfortable. If you're sitting cross-legged, just make sure they're not overly squashed one way or the other. So just feel what it's like to be sitting here right now. And now we can just work our way down from the top of the head. You may not feel anything at the top of your head, but whatever you do feel, like I'm wearing a beanie, I can feel my beanie contacts my head. And just sending a sense of relaxation. Onto your head. A very important place to relax is your face. So just bring your awareness to your forehead, your eyebrows. Notice if they're knitted or furrowed. Just relax them. In your eyes, just relax that. All the little muscles around your eyes. And your nose, you can feel it if you can. Your cheeks, just resting and relaxing the muscles of your cheeks. And then your lips, Often we don't even realize how much tension we carry around our lips. So just feel it and relax it. And relax your jaw. Notice if it's clenched. And let it go. So then down our neck and our shoulders. So where we carry the weight of the world. You can imagine someone kindly massaging your shoulders. So you yourself can kindly massage your shoulders mentally. How hard you've worked all week long. You deserve a little tender loving care. And opening up your chest. So again, psychologically opening yourself up to the present moment and the experience of it. Relaxing your abdomen, where we can carry a lot of tension. And then feeling your upper back and relaxing it. Poor back. If you work at a desk job, the poor back is probably taking a lot of weight from sitting around for many hours. Just offering you a little kindness and care as you relax your back down to your lower back. And feeling where you're sitting, contacting your seat. So imagine yourself being stable and firm and present. Now you can relax your arms, right side, your shoulders, your fingertips, left side, and shoulder to the fingertips. And then now turning to your right leg, where it meets your hips, down to the knees, out the ankles and the toes. So relaxing your whole leg. Doing the same for the left, from the hip bone, down to the knees, down to the ankles, and the toes. So your whole body is now a little more relaxed. Just take a moment, even to say thank you to your body for keeping you alive for how many years you've been alive, for taking you to and fro, for allowing you to do what you do. Now, just in a short time we have left, see if there's anywhere in your body that still feels tense, any place you might have some chronic pain or discomfort, and go to that place. And if you're so lucky as to not have any place like that, then you can just continue relaxing your body even more deeply. But if you do, just go to that place of vulnerability or tension, and just let yourself feel that discomfort more fully. Just imagine giving it some space. Opening up around that area. Our normal reflex when we feel pain or discomfort is to clench around it, a kind of defensive mechanism. But now try to do the exact opposite. Relaxing around it. Opening up. Giving it some space. Space to express itself. Space even to heal. Do you notice you're feeling any different now? Do you notice if your mind feels any different now? So we'll only have a short period for today. But before we come out of meditation, you can just take a moment to just wish yourself well. Wish that your body is healthy, free of any discomfort or disease. You can wish that your mind be happy. And you can extend that out to wish for all beings to be well, to be happy, to be free. As you come out of the meditation, and just take 3 conscious breaths. You can open your eyes when you feel like it.
Thank you, Munissara. Yeah, thank you so much. And we've come to the end of the time, so we won't have any chance for questions, I'm afraid, this week, but we'll bring them over to next. No, it's fine. It was wonderful. So we'll bring the question from Sampras, who had a question, so we'll bring that over for next week, okay? And,
okay.
But yeah, look, thank you. And look, we're really happy for, that you've presented. It's a wonderful presentation, and thank you everyone for joining us. So look, we're really pleased to host these sessions for our community, and we're really looking forward to having you people coming back for the whole 6 weeks if we can. But please also provide any feedback, which will really help. So look, go off. I'm looking forward to going back, watch a little bit of YouTube in a very kindful way. I think it's good, gives me permission a bit. So, and we'll see you all next week. But thank you so much, Munissara.
You're welcome. Thank you everyone for coming along to join. Thanks, Cullen, for running the session. So I'm sorry I leave enough time for Q&A. Maybe next week we can get to your question.
Perfect.